Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gap Major, and today we're going to be continuing with the HMS Hood model, and we're going to be basically making a start on the build. So part 1 is going to be completely focused on building the model. As previously mentioned, we were thinking about maybe drilling out the barbettes and then seeing if we need to trim them down. But what I'm going to do first of all is obviously just cut off the die-cast parts from their sprue and then just remove any flash and straighten up the barrels. So you're probably going to see a time lapse, but the aim is to obviously go into the close-in cam. The aim is to just remove some of the flash off of these. So we're cracking with that, and we'll see how it goes. So that's all the die-cast parts cut out. Now it's simply a case of straightening some of them out, especially the barrels on the turrets, making sure they're all right, and then we're obviously releasing the turrets. But just doing an initial look. Yeah, so from an initial look, it would appear the turrets are too high. Just take those off. So if I had some blue tack, I don't think I have any around. But from tacking them, or even just holding them in place, you can see the turrets are just too high. So it is very much as expected. They're about a deck too high, which would lead me to believe I need to actually drill out these barbettes, so that's what I'm going to do next. Now, obviously, I should mention that to start off, I have already washed this, and I'm using a 4mm drill bit, and I'm just going to drill very carefully. And as you may have seen, I've already made a start on one of these. So just very carefully do this. So drilled with a 4mm drill bit, I've taken the barbettes a lot deeper now, as you can see. And so I've done that fore and aft. So I've taken them a lot deeper. Now the first thing I suspect is that A and Y turret can't go any lower. But like I was saying, I think the rangefinders are quite high. But my question is, how much lower does B turret need to be? B turret needs to be about 1 millimeter lower. So that would lead me to believe that I need to sand these rangefinders down just a little bit more. So I'll just go get, let's see, do I have one in my cabinet? No, I don't, so I might just have to go get a metalworking file. So I've got myself a flat metal file. I'm just going to see if I can take just a little bit off the top of these. I think that is as much as I dare take off the top of them. So I'm going to release the barrels. So I need my cutting mat. There we go. Question is, on B turret, how much lower does B turret need to be? So I think B turret needs to be about 1 millimeter lower at least. Whether this, I don't think I can do it with a razor saw. Could I? So that's taken the barbette down with the razor saw. So hopefully now, for example, if I put A turret in, and I pop B turret in that, I might even just trim under the blast bags of B turret. And that has a lot better look, I feel. I feel overall that has a lot better look. So just quickly do a comparison again. Just make sure, always refer to your source material. Would like B turret just to sit a little lower. Might just trim those blast bags away a little bit more. I think that's the best you're going to get without having to extensively modify this model. So I'm pretty in a happy position where I now would like to possibly just put these turrets aside along with the rangefinder, which needs a little bit more cleanup, I think. No, I don't think that necessarily is. So I'm just correcting the bend in this turret. And that's all she wrote for tonight. Right, so a new dawn, a new day, working on HMS Hood. So in the previous couple of minutes of this video, which was a different day, I've rectified what I can of the front of the turrets. Today's job, I want to rectify the rear of the turrets and get the model assembled, but I also might do some rectifications regarding the funnels because I'm not quite happy with the funnels. If I go to the camera, you might see that the funnels have quite a bit of ribbing around them. Now, although this does actually represent handrails in real life, they look a bit too pronounced, so I might just quickly jump into, say, the close-in cam, and I'll show potentially what I mean by the ribbing of the main funnels, which I'm not super keen on. It seems a little bit too pronounced, so I'm going to try and sand that down. Because I'm literally repeating the same process with the rear turrets that I did with the front turrets, this should just be a very quick time lapse of just me working away on it. So hopefully there should be some nice music in the background while I work on it. And there we go. So that's literally just a rinse and repeat of the previous mythology. Although what you probably did see me do differently was I did use the file to file the barbette of X turret down a little bit more. So fingers crossed now, if I stick this under the close-in cam, obviously it's not glued, so the turrets are going to move a little bit when I do this, but let's hope it partially works. If I pop hood under, so this is the got to very difficult to show you this actually, but that's the front turret arrangement. I managed to get boo turret down low enough. And then if I spin it around, this is the X turret arrangement. You can see I've got the turret nice and low as well there. So I'm quite happy with the turrets now in their current position. So that I do like. So what I have probably got to do now is work on those funnels. So I'm just going to quickly pop a big. I'll make sure I put the turrets back in order because wide turret is slightly different because I have cut out the blast bags underneath just so I can get a bit more of a closer match up against so that sorry, X turret is slightly special because I've cut out the blast bags in order to get a closer marry up with wide turret. So now I've got to take a look into the funnels, which I'm not completely happy with. I would like them, I prefer them to be smoother. I've got two ways to go about this. I can maybe I could sand them. But I think sanding could be the way to go. Just got to be careful I don't sand off any other detail on the miniature. I mean, even if sanding them just makes them a little less pronounced. In fact, sanding them seems to be quite effective at removing it. Yeah, I like that. Or at least it's very effective at removing the top one. And then what I might do, I might just do a little bit, tidy up with the scalpel blade, or the knife blade. Just make sure that I move anything else. So for sandpaper I'm using 180p. It's basically just some stuff I had lingering around, I guess you could say. And what I'm finding at the moment is that the detail does actually come off quite nicely with a scalpel. It almost just seems like it snaps off. So that's making this cleanup process a bit easier. Just got to make sure that when I do cut the bits off, that they actually do come off. I'm not sure how much of this you're going to be able to see, so if it's time-lapsed, it's time-lapsed. So there we go. Hopefully I can show it off in the close-in cam. But what I've done with the funnels, there you go, is I've gone and smoothed them off. So you can see that I've done the rearmost funnel, no, foremost funnel. and hopefully most of those sand details will disappear. So this is the other side. I think the funnels just look better when they're completely smooth. So I'm just going to do the second funnel and see how it goes. And there we go. So that's both funnels done, and I'm quite happy with them. I'm not sure how much you're going to see on this camera, so we'll just quickly jump over to the other camera. So that just means we're now going to be going into construction. Rightio, so we're just now going to start on the construction of HMS Hood, but one of the things that I want to do is just remove this lip that's on the underside. So what I'm going to be doing with that is almost just running the knife along, just bringing that lip in. Cutting it off. And this will make more sense when you see the next stage of what I plan to do, because obviously, as per always, I like to add a bit of a base to them, I guess you could say. I like to give them magnetic bases. Also just trying a slightly different camera angle, seeing how I get on with that. Nearly finished. There we go. So that's now removed the lip on the underside. So if I just move that there, next one I really want to do is now I just want to rough up this bottom bit because it's very smooth. So just got some sandpaper, just gonna rough it up a little bit, just so when I do glue this to the magnetic sheeting, then it's got a bit of a contact surface for the glue to go into. And sometimes what I like to do is just with the knife, just do some hashes on it. There, that's really roughed up the bottom now, so that's going to make it very good to actually glue down. So what we have is we have some self-adhesive magnetic sheeting. Let's see, do I have my rule? Where's my rule? I'll just place my rule. Have I? Oh, there it is. So, just to prove that it's magnetic, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to place Hood onto it, for example. Once I'm happy with the general size, I'll just quickly mark off, because we're going to cut it down to size afterwards. So just want to mark off general size of it. I'm going to cut that with the scissors. So So with that done, that means we have a bit of magnetic sheeting that will easily fit the base of hood. So what I'm going to do is peel this off. So that is sticky backed, but what I like to do is just use some standard super glue. So this is just some stuff that I get from Hobbycraft. I find it quite good enough for the job, I guess you could say. So just gotta run some super glue. I always just run it round near the edge and let some motion, capillary motion, move it. So get a bit of glue in the middle, and then there we go. And stick it down. Give it a bit of a push down. Get that glue spread underneath, and also then the additional adhesiveness of the magnetic sheeting will kick in. So while that's doing that, now it's probably a bit too early for me to go around with a pair of scissors. So what I'll do is I'll put some of the turrets on. So what we'll do is we'll start off by putting a turret in. Yeah, that's a turret. I'm just gonna go pointing. Oh, this is the rear. Okay, that's alright, because A turret and Y turret are exactly the same. Yep, so it looks nicely lined up. So when we'll put Y turret into A turret's place. Looks pretty good to me. Then we better put B turret in. We're just going to have to let that dry. So while that's happening, we'll do what is X turret. Just try some different light angles. So while that's doing that, we should be okay just to trim it around. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just quickly change the camera position. So yeah, change the camera position now. So I just got to cut the magnetic sheeting back and cutting it back to the edge of the base. Now the idea of the magnetic sheeting is it does make transport a lot easier. because then I can just put some magnetic sheeting into, like hot glue gun, some magnetic sheeting into the bottom of a box file, and then I can transport my entire fleet inside the box file. That's the joy of the self-adhesive magnetic sheeting, is it just doesn't stick to your hands. So I'll grab all that and stick it in the bin. I'll just go grab my cutting mat as well. What I want to do with the cutting mat is just make sure that I've got this nice all the way around here. There you go. That's nice and tidied up. And then I can also put that away. I can put this in the bin. So there it is, and then that just means that I need to just glue in the front rangefinder, bridge, and the rearward mast. So obviously, test fit. I have pretty much test fit everything already, but I'd always recommend a test fit if you're ever doing this yourself. Now, I just want to check. Where did I put it? I think I've lost it. So what I'll do is just double check the direction of the slope on the rangefinder. That's what I'm just doing, because I don't want to glue the rangefinder in backwards. So it slopes to the front, which is what I expected it to do. So just pop that in. Okay, I think that's alright. It's all nicely lined up. So just get the main bridge in. So just putting some glue into the gap where it's supposed to key in, and just pop it in nicely. And the rear mast actually fits very nicely. Just got to make sure I get it the right way around. So I'm just looking at the key and then looking at the hole. Yeah, it seems to go in quite nicely. Just make sure I'm happy with the angle of it all. Pop a blob of glue on the back. And that's it. Quickly double check my resource material in regards to the angle of the mast. Okay, just have to angle the mast forward as per. So that's pretty much HMS Hood assembled. So I'll take it over onto the close-in cam due to show off hood completely built. Of course, it's always inverted. So if I wanted to show how I managed to resolve the turrets, quite happy with how low the turrets are there, and then also you can see the smoothness of the funnels, which I'm a lot more happy with. And then here's the rear turrets. I'm quite happy with how low they are as well. I'm quite happy with that overall. I'll probably have some photos in the background, and I'll do a bit of work with the microphone. So here we have some macro photos of the model. Hopefully we'll do some comparisons. So this is the model overall following construction. This is the model as is, provided by Warlord Games, obviously painted, but you can kind of see the heights of the turrets, and hopefully we should be able to see that the heights of these turrets have now been reduced significantly. You can also see the way that the funnels have been smoothed out. One thing that I have done since finishing the construction is I have just gone over and touched it up with a little bit of filler. The idea there is just to try and smooth it out a bit, and the sanding process, just a little thing that I'm constantly doing. Again, doing some comparisons of the model against the actual photos provided by Warlord Games. So overall, I think if you want to just build out the box as is, then that's your choice. That's fine. That's fine by me, really. I've just decided to do a little bit more work and try and get it to closely, almost slightly more closely reflect how I'd interpret Hood. This is a photo of Hood pre 1940 refit. So yeah, all in all, quite a nice kit, quite happy with it, and I look forward to painting it in part 2. Hopefully this video hasn't been too dangerous, I guess you say, or too boring. And it's the very first model making kit on the channel that I've ever done, so obviously some teething issues, but hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Until next time, I'm the Gav Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping